Speaking of hard, LSU may have a difficult schedule coming up this football season. Bud Elliott, who covers college football for 24/7 Sports, put together a list of the top 10 returning quarterbacks in college football this season. And as I looked at it, obviously the first thing that's going to stand out to me is where's Garrett Nussmeier. And Garrett Nussmeier is number 2 on the list, which is awesome. That's a phenomenal place to start if you're LSU. I talked about this earlier this week, actually, on Monday. Like, I feel like just about anyone who's discussing quarterbacks is going to put Garrett Nussmeier in the top 5 entering the season. And if you can have that in any given year, like, that's a big deal. And so to have Garrett Nussmeier coming back for LSU for a 5th year, who everybody believes is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in college football, whether he plays to that level or not, like, it's just a good place to start entering talking season. But the other side of this coin is, who does LSU play that's on this list? And LSU plays number 1 on the list, number 5 on the list, number 6 on the list, and number 10 on the list. So you're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 10, with Garrett Nussmeier being the other. That's 5 of the top 10 directly involved in LSU's 2025 season. Now, Jacob Beck, I'm guessing you have not seen this list. Just a guess of mine.
No, I have not.
Because I didn't link it to the doc. Do you have a guess as to who Bud Elliott says is the number 1 quarterback in the nation who happens to be on LSU's schedule this coming season?
I will guess.
You can even throw me a school if you'd like.
Yeah, it's going to be Clemson, right?
It is not Clemson. Cade Klubnik is number 5 on this list.
Oh, okay.
Bud Elliott says the number 1 returning quarterback in college football is DJ Lagway from Florida.
Wow.
Now, that's buying a lot of stock into the final 3 weeks of DJ Lagway. And that's reasonable. It's his freshman year. They were on a team that was lost in the wilderness for 8 games and what had really been 3 years and 8 games. And he played great down the stretch. And Florida beat LSU when he was on one leg, and beat Ole Miss, and beat Florida State. And he's a 5-star talent. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that DJ Lagway's not the best returning quarterback in the country, but it is a lot of stock for 3 games. And in any event, LSU's got Florida coming to Tiger Stadium this year, and that's going to be a challenge when Billy Napier can snap the ball to that guy, assuming he's healthy, 65, 75, 85 times. So the next guy on LSU's list is number 5 at Cade Klubnik. And Cade Klubnik had a great finish to his season. Now, they didn't beat South Carolina, but he threw for a lot of yards and has got a lot of talent. And Clemson's got a ton coming back. This is not the time on April the 9th to go dive into Clemson's returning talent and what they've got out on the skill positions and how many offensive linemen they've got back. But I think it's reasonable to go, well, they got a former 5-star quarterback who's now got a year starting very much under his belt and who played better later in the season. And yeah, I think it's fair to call him one of the best 5 quarterbacks in the country coming back. And right behind Klubnik, who's 5, number 6 is LaNorris Sellers. This is interesting because Sellers was a freshman last year, and LSU saw him before he got hurt in that game rip off a huge touchdown run up the middle, show that insane athleticism. Is he brilliant from the pocket? I'd stop short of that. Is he a handful for defensive coordinators? Yeah, he was that for LSU last year. And Clemson found that out too. The play he made to beat Clemson, that touchdown run that he made up the middle of the field, zigging and zagging and running through all those guys, like, that's a play that there are not 15 quarterbacks in college football that can make that play. And he's just that athletic and that dynamic that he can. Now, how much can South Carolina bring along his passing? We thought last year that South Carolina was going to be completely devoid of weapons because they lost your 2 best weapons from the year prior were for the Carolina Panthers and Ole Miss. So what are you going to be able to do? Well, it wasn't a work of art in the passing game, but Sellers was super productive, and now he's in his 2nd year as a starter. So you got Lagway at 1, Klubnik at 5, Sellers at 6, and then the last one may have been tougher for you to pull if you're just driving around and kind of thinking about who this could be. Not anybody from Alabama. Not anybody from Ole Miss. Not anybody from Texas A&M. It's John Mateer. And as I say John Mateer, you may go, I don't even know who that is. And that'd be fair because you probably didn't watch a lot of Washington State football last year because Washington State's not in a conference anymore, and why would you watch that? But John Mateer threw for a lot of yards, and his offensive coordinator took the offensive coordinator gig at Oklahoma. And so he said, well, I'll go to Oklahoma. So he's now at Oklahoma. And John Mateer was super productive at Washington State last year. Oklahoma's got one chance to get this offense right under Brent Venables. So Mateer is that chance. And Bud Elliott thinks he's one of the 10 best starting quarterbacks returning in college football. Now, I'm going to need to see a lot out of Oklahoma. Bauer Sharp plays for LSU. Nick Anderson plays for LSU. And absolutely, positively nothing that Oklahoma did offensively last year was even remotely bordering on good. It was a complete and total dumpster fire from the first game through the last game. Every snap was terrible. That might have been a little bit of a hyperbole, but it was really bad. So they've got to change this, and they think Mateer is that guy. This is a refrain that I'm going to give you probably a lot between July 15th and September 1st. From a roster standpoint, I think LSU is pretty good. Elite, I'm not going to go there. Great, I think they're pretty good. And I think that quarterback, you've got a difference maker, and that's a great place to start. The schedule is troubling. And this is just part of that schedule with the quarterbacks. Now, you're never going to have a picnic in the SEC now that Texas and Oklahoma are here and the divisions are gone. It just is what it is. Not everybody's going to be Georgia from last year. We're going to Tuscaloosa, to Oxford, to Austin. Like, that's a little bit extreme. But everybody's going to have 3 or 4 really tough assignments. And LSU certainly will have that. I think having the number 5 returning quarterback in the country on your non-conference schedule is a bit of a bear. And I think that having 3 other guys that anybody, I'm not suggesting Bud Elliott's the oracle of college football, but the guy's really respected and I think does a great job. To suggest that you've got 4 of the top 10 quarterbacks in the country on your schedule is a handful. So we'll see how it all goes. That's a look at some LSU football. If you're looking for our LSU football content, you certainly can find it at To Hunt on LSU on YouTube, wherever you find your podcast. It's all LSU football all year long. It's Hunt on LSU. So hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.